Hello, everybody. Sorry for the slight delay. There was like a weird mic thing going on. For some reason, my mic was uh muted for a couple 5 minutes straight, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. So, thank you for bearing with me there. Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 4. We are already on day 4. So, I am congratulating you all for making it this far. First of all, can I just say that it is very uncommon for people to make it this far in any type of challenge or in any other type of boot camps or something that's several days in a row. To be honest, day 3 is usually when people start dropping off, and day 4 is usually if you made it this far, whether you're here live or if you're watching in the replay, you're doing really well. And here's the thing that I want to share with you guys, that what I was talking about, the 1% yesterday, the 1% of the highly successful people, it's always 1% or 5%. So it's only 5% of people typically, it's 10. Only 10% of any industry, there's only about 10% of people that actually go. So it's pretty much 10% for everything. So if you think about, if you've gone to cosmetology school, 10% of the people you graduated with are going to continue on pursuing a career in cosmetology. Or if you went to college and you went for, nursing or something like that, only 10% of the people that go through nursing school actually pursue and stay in that particular degree. It's pretty much across the board a 10% thing. And that goes with any type of challenge, any type of boot camp. Pretty much by the end of it, it goes 10% typically finish it, but only 1% do it every single day. It's crazy how the statistics work. Hi, Elisa. Hi, Sabrina. So it's very interesting. So what I was saying yesterday about those highly successful people, when we think of the top 1% of, the world and everything, there's a reason for it, because they are the ones that are going through it no matter what. And obviously I understand that. I know Sarah was mentioning that she is unable to make it live because, she has a 9-to-5 type of deal. So obviously there are certain circumstances that are, not necessarily working in our favor. But either way, if you are here with me, if you're watching this, you are amongst the I would say the 5%, to be honest, between the 5 and 10%. So congratulations to you. So I'm going to go ahead and start by sharing today's giveaway. So the rule for the homework challenges for each day is that you have to be in the upgraded version of this challenge or this boot camp inside the private community, or you had to have done something on Instagram. So there was one person that did this in the time that it was, because you get 24 hours to submit your homework challenge, and there was only one person that did it in the time frame that we were that you get. Now I want to share with you guys what today's giveaway is. So it's everything that has been every single other day, which is the Garnier micellar water and micellar pads, the Tubies little earpiece, and then also the What It Takes DVD. And then today, what this person is going to be getting is a Hask hair. It's like a coconut oil, little, it's like hair oil. It's really, really amazing. It smells so yummy. So one of these, you're going to get a 3D HD, is it Max Kabuki brush. It's really cool. It has this kind of dimensional brush angle to it. It's actually really, really nice. Seriously, Sigma brushes are so amazing. And then you're also going to get the Most Wanted brush set from Sigma brushes. So let's see here. I'll open it just so you can kind of see what's in it. You've got Some amazing brushes, to say the least. So these are the brushes that you get in this little set. It's like a little, oh, yikes. Like a little flat brush, a shadow brush, another fluffy brush, like a little kind of like a pencil looking brush, and then another fluffy brush. So if you're anything like me, I'm a huge fan of Sigma brushes. So the lucky winner of today is Sarah Blackwood. So she actually already won, but she was the winner for today because she was the first and the only person that submitted the homework in the homework section of the forum. So congratulations, Sarah. Kudos to you for winning twice. So I didn't even say that you were able to win twice. So congratulations, Sarah. You'll be getting these, and you'll be doubling up on some of the Garnier, so you'll have some extra goodies. And I will reach out to you for details on that. And yeah, that is for day 3's winner. So that was last night. And I kind of, yes, Sabrina, wow, great job, Sarah, right? Exactly. Sarah has been showing up every single day. So seriously, like, huge round of applause for Sarah. She has seriously been working so hard. And she actually mentioned in the forum, in the private forum on like the pre-training day, that she kind of is like, she felt like she's gotten out of the loop of things. And so I'm so proud of her for like going all in. And something that I really love and respect is when artists are kind of have things like going against them, like their odds are stacked against them, quote unquote, is that she still showed up even though she had to watch the replay every single day. And I know, just as a person that has like done challenges like this before, it is really hard to work all day and then come home to watch an hour and a half of a replay. It's really hard. So I give her so much credit. She has shown up every single day. And Sarah, and for everybody, when you show up like that, trust me when I say you're showing the universe that you are willing and ready to have amazing things happen in your career, and you're telling the universe, like, I'm ready for big and better things to show up in my life and my career because I'm showing up in a big way. So congratulations to Sarah. And I'll be kind of like hinting at a couple things that we're going to be giving away for tomorrow. So for tonight's homework. So it's a big one because tomorrow is the last day. So it's kind of like the grand prize. And I'm really excited about tomorrow's giveaway. So I'm going to be showing you guys a little sneak peek later on of what that prize is going to be. So, oh no, where are my notes? Crap. What did you know what? It's fine. That is totally fine. I have my workbook in front of me. So let's go ahead and yes, Sabrina says you are killing it, Sarah. Elisa says, yay, Sarah. Yes. Huge, like, congratulations to Sarah. She literally is killing it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with this training. So I'm going to be getting out my workbook because I don't have my notes in front of me, which is not the end of the world, but I could have sworn that I had them in front of me, but apparently I didn't. I actually had a really nice day with my boyfriend today. I'm actually getting ready to go back to LA for about a month, starting on this coming Thursday. And I have a commercial that I'm pretty much starting on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I literally am working all the way up until the day that I drive out there. And so today and kind of tomorrow is like our last chance to kind of like be with each other. So we had like a nice day together. We started the day. What did we do at the beginning of the day? We went shopping. We went shopping. God, I love shopping. I love shopping. It's like such a, I don't know what it is about shopping, but it is so calming to me. I don't know that I would consider myself a shopaholic per se, but you know, retail therapy is a thing for sure. And so we went to a mall out here, just walked around, got some coffee. And then after that, we went and we got lunch at a restaurant. And then we got these little, like, there's this local park just down the street from us. And there's this really big pond that's big enough for like paddle boats. Not necessarily for like speedboats or anything like that. It's just paddle boats. And we rented some paddle boats and just kind of did a little half-hour deal, just rowing around. It was really cute and fun. And then after that, we did our workout that we've been doing and being really good about, that I'm like pretty proud of. I haven't been this good about working out in a very long time. So yeah, that was kind of our day together, and it was very refreshing. It was very nice to be with him. But anyways, enough about me. Let's go ahead and get on with the training. So if you guys want to get out your workbooks, so those of you that do have access to the workbooks, go ahead and open your workbooks, and we're going to go ahead and start to kind of just get a little bit overview of what we're going to go over today. So I already said what I was going to say, which is that not everybody makes it this far. Like literally, if you are watching this, I challenge everybody to do this. If you were to look at like the even I would say day one, look at day one's view count on our YouTube channel, and then day 2 and day 3, and then when you see day 4, and you'll see the numbers. And it's so cyclical with everything. Whenever there's something where you have to show up consistently, I don't mean to be harsh and I don't mean to sound like a bitch, but consistency is the hardest thing to do, which is unfortunately why only 10% of people stay within their, major. They stay within the thing that they go to school for. They actually go through with, their dreams or whatever. And then only 5% of those actually do like the bigger things, and only 1% are going to be the Oscar winners, the NBA, Michael Jordans of their industry. It just works that way in literally every single industry that exists around the entire world. And in marketing and in business, especially in online courses, you see, like, it's so interesting to see like the numbers and how things work. Like anytime I've ever done like my 4-week social media program, you see how many people start watching in week 1, and then they start dropping on week 2, and then more drop on week 3, and then not very many people make it to week 4. It just is what it is. It's really, really hard to keep the momentum going because inconvenience shows up. And that's what I was saying. That's why I'm like more than happy to allow someone like Sarah to win multiple days, because she is literally proving that. Like, she is showing up when inconvenience is showing up at her door. Yesterday, remember what I mentioned, when you open the door and inconvenience is knocking at it, are you going to shut it like immediately and be like, I'm just going to pretend like that didn't happen, like I didn't see them knocking at the door? Or are you going to be like, yeah, inconvenience, I'm going to fucking punch you in the face. Like, let's go, let's fight. Let's work this out. Like, what are you going to do when inconvenience shows up in your door? It's seriously, it happens every single time I do any of these challenges. It's like it dwindles and dwindles and dwindles and dwindles. And so anyways, didn't mean to go on a complete tangent there, but I wanted to kind of just like showcase to you guys exactly. Hold on, I want to check something while I'm talking. I just wanted to showcase exactly how all of this works. It's just like, so many of us tend to just like drop it once something kind of inconveniently shows up, and like I said, sometimes there's things that are like bigger and, more important. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be like, you guys need to show up for me. Like, I'm not here to be like that at all. But, hold on. I just want to see if this email was, if it worked okay. Yeah, it's right there. Okay. Just want to double check. Thank you, Sabrina. It was an amazing day. So anyways, this whole concept of like, inconvenience showing up and you showing up for yourself no matter what. And it's really cool to see how each time it works. And I always like become like really close with the artists that see it through all the way to day 5, because it's so cool what happens. And not to say that people that, drop off on day 2 or 3 aren't successful, because that's not what I'm saying. But it's just a completely different, like, it's really cool to see the people that go all the way to day 5, what they end up doing with their self and their self-confidence immediately after the boot camp, because they like immerse themselves in it. It's really, really cool. So anyways, what we're going to talk about today is we're going to specifically talk about networking and like networking skills and like the different things that we can do to network, as well as some confidence boosting tactics. So this is actually something really, really fun that I love to talk about, because it's something I learned from Tony Robbins that, like, ever since I learned it, it was really eye-opening, but very like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I don't really know how to explain it. Like, it's just really cool, the tactic that Tony Robbins teaches pretty much all of his summits that he does. Getting ready to do his next one in August. I'm really excited for it. But anyways, so let's go ahead and get on with the networking. So once again, I have a feeling, because there's only Sabrina and Elisa are the only ones on here. I just want to triple check, because the email went through, but there's no clicks for some reason. Let's just see if this goes to the right one. Why is that not working? Sorry guys. Just so you guys, hey, Sabrina and Elisa, can you do me a really, I don't even think you're on that email. I'm sorry. Bear with me, you guys. I'm so sorry for those of you that are watching the replay. Something is off with the click. It's not working. Okay. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to send another email. Let's see. Settings. Is that it? No. Why didn't that work? See, yeah, just so you guys know, Elisa and Sabrina, I don't think the link worked. How can I view on YouTube? It's so strange that this didn't work. How can I, view on YouTube? Sorry. Okay, so I'm going to share this, copy. Yeah, it's still the same one. Sorry. Bear with me, you guys. I'm going to make sure that this gets handled, because I already see exactly what happened. It's a really quick email to make sure everybody gets on, because the wrong I don't know, something happened with the link. That's so strange. Like, I triple checked that like 5 different times, and it's in both emails. So, like I said, you guys, the people that are like on the replay, I am so sorry. Updated link for day 4. Live session and replay. There we go. That's so weird. It showed up. You guys, technology is so annoying. But here you go. This is like the primary example of when inconvenience shows up. What are you going to do? I'm going to be like, hey, inconvenience, fuck you. I'm going to fix this. Let's see. All right. Okay. We got it. Send now. There we go. Hopefully this ends up getting to them and it actually works. Okay. So anyways, how can the link not work if we were able to log in? I don't know, Sabrina. That's a good question. I think in ConvertKit maybe something went off, because to me it's like it's weird that nobody at all is on. Usually there's at least like a few people. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and go on, and I'm going to continue on as if this was not an issue. And maybe what I'll do is in the replay, I will download this and completely take that out. Right? It's because I had a nice day with my boyfriend. That's why I'm so calm. And like, just so you guys know, this is what I was talking about, is that shit happens and you have to work on your feet. And it was a challenge, like boot camp. It was a challenge. This challenge summit thing that I was a part of with Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi, or Graziosi. I was like Graziosi. Dean Graziosi. That was back in like early May that I was a part of that, and they were like, "Oh yeah, all these tech issues are happening. Like, it is what it is." So that was very eye-opening, to say the least, when they were like open about it. And when we did our first boot camp, there were tech issues and I was not near my boyfriend. And so I had like panic attacks on the daily. Whereas today I have my boyfriend and he's like the one that keeps me calm through all these like shitty experiences. Thank you. But here's the thing, like I knew exactly what to do when like I had a feeling. Hi, Mia. See, I knew it. So yeah, just to recap, we were talking about just how inconvenience shows up and what you're going to do when it does. Those of you that do just like push through it, you are a rarity. And it's definitely sometimes very, very difficult. Consistency is so incredibly hard to do. Like, I was just sharing with you guys that I started doing like my fitness journey, like getting back up like in the fitness like process, and it took me several years to get consistent with it. And consistency is the hardest thing. It is the hardest thing. So anyways, let's go ahead and move on. Now that we figured out the issue, essentially, the quote of the day is, you can only make it if you don't give up. So what I've been preaching about this entire time is by day 4, a lot of people like quote unquote give up. It's like a lot of people drop off, they lose interest, inconvenience shows up and they're like, whatever. Like, something that really I see a lot of, which is why we have changed our makeup challenges into what they are now, which are the boot camps, is that so many people, when they miss one day, they're like, fuck, well, I missed one day, so like, I guess I'm just not gonna like, I guess I just missed the entire thing. And I have done this myself, so I know that story that we tell in our head. But it's kind of like, well, like, you don't have to just give up that easily. There are some ways that you can go around it. You might be able to, watch the replay and have it, almost listen to it like a podcast instead of actually sitting and watching with it the way that you would, sitting and like actively listening during a live or something like that. But anyways, you can only make it if you don't give up. Like, that is so true for so many things of whatever it is that you want to pursue. And you can't make it in any endeavor if you give up. Like, it's impossible. So don't give up is the overall message there. So I'm gonna start with some confidence boosters for you guys. And just to give you a little added excitement, for those of you guys that upgraded, you will be getting access to one of our a video or like a training that is from inside the Inner Circle. So I told you guys a little bit about the Inner Circle, and one of the trainings is confidence, how to boost your confidence, 10 ways to boost your confidence. And you guys will be getting one of the trainings inside that particular success kit that we offer. It's all about boosting your confidence. So all of the artists that upgraded, you will be getting an added bonus to access to one of those trainings. So very exciting there. So I was kind of like giving you guys a little taste of what I was going to talk about earlier, that Tony Robbins something that he preaches on is that when you are, feeling a sense of fear, a sense of self-doubt, a sense of, feeling stupid, feeling not good enough, low self-esteem, before you do something that is going to push you out of your comfort zone, in order to be seen, in order to be heard, so on and so forth. In order to do that and train your mind to consistently show up, because it's hard, like sometimes we can do it once, maybe we can do it twice, but to show up like multiple times, you have to change the physiology of your body. Now it's going to look a little different for all of us. So what that could look like. And this is something that another manifesting expert that I just recently started following, her name is Mary Kate. She talked about this as well. And I was like, oh, I like the way that she's teaching this. So anytime that you say you're having a hard time with showing up on your Instagram, like whether that is going live or putting together a reel or putting together some sort of video or a photo or whatever it is that you're trying to, post, or on TikTok, or do a Facebook Live or whatever, or reach out to somebody that you're really intimidated by maybe. There is a psychological connection that, remember I was telling you guys about the polar bear? It's kind of like when you your system is shocked. You get anxiety right before you do something like that. And you're shocking your system essentially. And typically what happens, unfortunately, when we go into that anxiety mode of, oh my God, I don't know if I should hit send. Oh my God, I don't know if I should hit post. It's like a sense of anxiety that just shoots through our body. And when something like that happens in our body, it becomes fight or flight mode. So either you push through it and you fight for it and you go, or you're like, fuck this, like I'm out. I'm just not going to do anything, right? So what we need to do, and it's scientifically proven and psychologically proven, is we need to change our physiology when we are in those moments of fear, self-doubt, feeling scared or intimidated, or, feeling anxiety. So anytime that you're feeling that, do something that is changing your physiology, because what's happening is you're shaking it out. Remember the polar bear, when they go through that moment of trauma, of anxiety, of whatever, they shake it out. It's uncontrollable. It's like crazy. It's like seizures, and they like shake it out. Same thing for when you are getting ready to do something, because what happens is you are shaking your nervous system to like realign and kind of get a different focus, if that makes sense. So this is what I suggest, and this is what Tony Robbins suggests, and also this Mary Kate gal, she suggests that I'm now following. So say, for instance, you are getting ready to post something, and you're feeling, you're feeling like nervous about it. You're feeling hesitant, right? Do something that physically changes your body. So it can be something as simple as, most likely, even those of you guys that are with me live, like literally, how are you sitting right now? Are you sitting up straight? Are you slouched over? Are you like whatever? Like changing your physiology. So sitting up straight, right? So that's one way. So like, say for instance, you're hovered on your phone and you're like, I don't know. I don't know if I should post this. Instead of sitting like this, stand like this. Something else that I would love to like challenge you guys to do, which is also scientifically proven, is to stand in like Wonder Woman pose or Superman pose, but we're calling it Wonder Woman pose. For those of you men out there, like by all means, call yourself Superman too. But in Wonder Woman pose, where you're standing and you have both hands on your hips, this is like a total. This is what Catherine Zankina talks about all the time, is like doing something with confidence. Sometimes you fake it till you make it. Stand in this pose and get ready to do something that you are, feeling not so confident about. And a lot of the times, changing your physiology to something like this will spark a different, it redirects you and just builds. It's a really, really weird thing that happens. I don't know exactly the scientific reason why. It's like, I think it's like some sort of chemical thing that happens. Okay. So it's like it's a power pose is really what it is. So something as simple as that, like going from slouched to like present, confident, like obviously I'm a psychoanalyst. So like, I can literally read somebody's body language from far away and I know exactly their life story, basically. So I think we all know it's kind of common sense. You read somebody by their body language. If their body language is like this, they're closed off, they're not open. There might be some self-esteem, issues going there. Very not open, not ready to let go. Now, when you're standing like this, whether you're sitting up like this or you're standing and you have your chest back, your neck up, your chin up, it just automatically changes the way that your entire body feels. Because when we are in that stance, our mind connects that with confidence no matter what. So it changes the chemical, in your brain to, oh, I'm confident. So when you get in the habit of creating some sort of confidence pose before you do something that you're not so confident about, you're tricking your brain into thinking that you're confident doing it, even though at that very moment you might not be so confident. And then it's almost like you kind of get addicted to it. And the more that you do it, the more that you find exactly what it is that like gets you in that pose, that power pose, whatever that pose is for you. That is when you show up consistently. Trust me when I say it is like, it's really cool what happens. So that is one trick that Tony Robbins talks a lot about. And it's so cool. If you guys have never been a part of his his summits or his challenges or anything like that, I highly suggest being a part of them. He hasn't had any in-person events in a while, but trust me when I say the moment that the doors open for his in-person event, sign me up, like front row. Like I'll pay $10,000 if I need to. Who knows? Anyways, he is a fucking genius. And Dean Graziosi is, I swear to God, the same person as me. So anyways, the other thing that we can do, and this is what Mary Kate talks about, it's kind of like snapping yourself out of it. What happens when we go, like, it's kind of like we spiral, right? You might have a bad day. So, the whole concept of like, the way that you start your morning is typically how the rest of the day is going to go, right? It's, it sets the tone. So if you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, think about what that saying even is saying. What happens when you wake up on quote unquote the wrong side of the bed? You are going out of your comfort zone. It's the wrong way to start. You're starting on the opposite side of what you always start with, which essentially is throwing you off, which obviously that saying means the rest of your day is thrown off. So with that being said, where was I going with this? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. So yeah, basically, like, I totally lost my train of thought here. Crap. Confidence boosters. This is why I need my notes in front of me. Gosh dang it, Amber. I totally do not have my notes in front of me, so this is a little more difficult. But anyways, just think about that. Like when you start your day off wrong, you spiral down. But if you start it in the right foot, you tend to have a good day, right? So when we like have those times where we start to spiral down, when we start feeling, bad about ourselves, sometimes it can get really bad, and it can spiral into depression, a dark depression, a deep depression, really bad anxiety, so on and so forth. But if we can catch it soon enough, something that Mary Kay talks about is snapping yourself out of it. So that's where I was going with this. So snapping yourself out of it, basically, when you start feeling this sense of like going down in the rabbit hole or, going in a spiral in the wrong direction, waking up on the wrong side of the bed, you can snap yourself out of it. And so she talks about literally like what she talks about specifically is when you start doing self talk that's like self-sabotage. So I'm not good enough. This post is going to look so stupid. My makeup isn't as good as, fill in the blank. What are people going to think? What are people going to say? What if I get trolls that try to say that my makeup looks terrible? What if I don't get that many likes? So on and so forth. Or, talking about networking. Oh my gosh, if I reach out to this person, what if they're like, I don't want anything to do with you? Or to be honest, I really don't. I mean, there's so many reasons, like, for some reason, like when I'm intimidated to reach out to somebody, I don't really think about the reasons why I'm intimidated. Like this is something that I'm like being super transparent about, like in this very moment. Like there's plenty of people I'm like, oh gosh, like, no, that's a little like out of my league. But it's like, why would I be like scared to reach out to them? Like, what are they going to say? Like, Amber, you're the bottom of the barrel. Amber, why would you even remotely think that it was okay to reach out? Like, what are they going to say? They're not going to say anything like that unless they're absolutely terrible people. And for, all intents and purposes, see you later, Sally. Like, no, I don't really want to be a part of your, thing anyways, if that's how you're going to be. Anyways, so before you do something, when your mind gets into that, like, that habit of self-sabotage, when you feel yourself doing that, something that Mary Kate talks about is like literally clapping and being like, no, like, this is okay. Like, I feel great about this. And you clap when you think about these negative things, and then you say something else that's the opposite of that. Like, so you're saying something negative about yourself or the situation or the potential situation, and then you clap, you snap yourself out of it, and then you say something that is the opposite, being more positive about the situation. Like, why am I even like thinking about this? Like, what's the worst that can happen? And the thing that she suggests is to clap every single time, like, that it comes up until you don't feel a sense of negativity or self-sabotage, and then you just move forward. And it was a really cool little technique that she shared, and I was like, oh wow, like, I could see that, because it's literally the same thing that Tony Robbins talks about. It's just more specific to when these negative things that you're saying about yourself in your head or about a situation that you're trying to, move forward with. So same concept, you have to like change the physiology. Sometimes clapping, snapping. I wouldn't do anything like slapping yourself in the face or anything, but something that like physically shocks the nervous system. That's the whole point of this, is when you shock the nervous system, that is what's going to realign your nervous system and be like, no, like, stop thinking about that. Let's, shake it out, shake those negative thoughts out, shake the fear out now. Like, let's, do this. Some other things too that I really love that Tony Robbins does is he, like, in his virtual events anyways, he makes you like get up out of your seat and move and clap and dance. And then he has you sit down and he starts talking about things, and it's so cool. He's a brilliant human being. After you get done like clapping and dancing and like moving, the physiology portion, he has you sit back down, and trust me when I say, like, I can't even imagine what would happen in like a true like in-person event, because I can only like imagine what the energy is like. I can't wait to go to one of these. But anyways, you feel just good. Like, you're like, yes, like, I'm so excited to learn. Like, it's just something that happens with the body. You're shaking up your nervous system to get excited about something. Okay. And then he talks about things, and he has all these different, anecdotes and things like that with his teachings. And then as he talks about certain things, I'm just kind of sharing with you the experience of the event, so you guys get my point here. He talks about different things, anecdotes, and as he's talking, he starts talking about very, very sensitive subjects. Things like, let's talk about love and self-love. And you can feel going from the like high energy, you're, moving your body, the physiology, and you're ready and you're confident and you're like, yes, I'm going to take notes and it's going to be amazing and it's going to be great and all these things, right? And then he starts talking and you're making notes. You're like, oh, that's a great quote. Oh my gosh, this is great. And then he starts talking about the things that you struggle with, is my point. And then it's kind of like you start going back and your physiology goes back in that fear mode. And then, because he's brilliant at what he does, he gets you guys up out of their seats and he's like, all right, you guys move, clap, dance, like let's get up. And it's so cool. So what he does is he trains his audience to reprogram your body to know how to build your own confidence when you're in these situations. It's so cool. It is, oh my God, it's the most enlightening event I have ever been a part of. I've been a part of 2 of them now. But anyways, so what I suggest that you guys do, aside from, doing like some sort of power pose before you're getting ready to post something, send an email, apply for a job, go in for an interview, anything that would cause you to feel a certain amount of nervousness, anxiety, or fear, do something like stand in power pose for like minimum 17 seconds. Remember the 17-second rule. Or clap every single time for every little bit of like negative thought that you have about the situation until you feel it out of your body. Now, something that's very similar to the clap method is tapping. So if you guys have ever heard of tapping, I mentioned it briefly on, I believe, day 1. And basically you're tapping on different different meridian points, which is directly associated with your nervous system. So it literally is doing exactly what I'm suggesting to you guys. It is tapping on the little points, these little meridian points that are directly connected to our nervous system. And you are essentially thinking about different things that you have anxiety about, fear about, like say for instance, you're trying to lose weight or something, you tap and you say everything out loud that you feel about that one thing that you are struggling with. And then you get it all out. And then there's a whole process. I don't want to go too deep into it. And then you do like a few rounds of that. And then once that is done, then you go and you do the same thing, but you do it in the positive way. So literally the same thing with the clapping thing. It's just a little bit different. I'm a huge advocate that it's law of attraction, manifestation, and confidence boosting tactics. It's not a one size fits all. Like something that I cannot stand is when people are like, this is what made me $600,000 and I know it can do the same for you. It's like, that's great, but it technically doesn't work that way. Everybody has different ways of how they like connect, and everybody's unique in their own right. And so everybody has different ways of manifesting, of, building their own self-confidence, of learning, so on and so forth. So anyways, the other thing that I was going to share with you about different confidence boosters is for you to dance or do something, listen to a particular music playlist. Like I highly suggest, because music is extremely healing. I don't think people really realize how healing music is. Putting together a playlist that is extremely uplifting for you, that has a connection maybe to a very specific time of your life, a specific memory. Like think of it this way. When we hear music, sometimes certain songs will take us to a really bad time of our life or a really bad situation. That's how powerful music is. If you're anything like me, this is how I'm a pretty empathetic person. Like I definitely am considered an empath. However, for whatever reason with movies, I only cry in movies if the music is right. I'm way more connected to music and sound than I am, for whatever reason, watching like a hard, scene in a movie. I don't know why, but I do know why. It's just because like I come from a line of musicians. And so I'm very connected to music. So either way, regardless if you come from a line of musicians in your family, music is super healing. So if you've ever seen the videos of like what sound and music does to water, it is the most incredible thing ever. So anytime that you like a singing bowl or a chime or like anything that has a sound to it, if you have water near it, the way that the water vibrates, it creates these different like ripples depending on the sound wave, the sound pitch, so on and so forth. It is the coolest thing ever. Okay, so with that being said, our bodies are, I think it's something like 60 to 70% water, depending on, how much your water intake is. And think about that. Like sound affects water so drastically when it's just like a body of water. But our bodies have a high percentage of water. So sound and music directly affects us in a very significant way. So creating a playlist that gets you excited, that gets you pumped up, and is very curated to you and only you can drastically help your confidence boost. So like something that I do anytime, like I recently went through a really hard time, like probably the hardest time that I've had in well over 5 years. And it was an entire month long. I mean, it was a really, really rough month for me. And to be honest, like I'll be straight with you guys, I just kind of let it ride the wave because I was like, you know what? It is what it is. I'm moving. It's hard. And I just want to like let this. But once I allowed those feelings and emotions to just kind of like ride the wave, the way that I got back on track was I created a playlist that made me feel a certain way and brought my like emotions, my motivation, and my inspiration back up to par to what I typically am vibrating at. So music, creating a very specific music playlist is very, very helpful, especially like if you're anything like me and you're not a morning person and these 6 a.m. like call times, yikes, not my favorite. But what gets me like excited and amped up and awake is a very, very specific music playlist. So that's something to do. The other thing that I was talking about is dancing. Please understand that I know not everybody is like dancing queens. So it's funny because I also have on my mom's side a line of dancers. And so like literally everybody on my mom's side are dancers. My aunt, to be honest, so one of my aunts still owns a dance studio in Florida, but every single one of my aunts, including my mom, all own dance studios at some point in their lives. So I grew up around dancers. I did dance myself for many, many years. So I'm obsessed with dancing, and it goes hand in hand with music, of course. But dancing is another form of self-expression. When you're hearing a song that you're connecting to and it's making you feel a certain way, sometimes like if you're not, maybe you're not a dancer, maybe you're not very good at dancing. If you're alone, who gives a fuck? Like just move however you want. Trust me, it's very freeing. So dance like nobody's watching, because like when nobody is watching, who gives a shit? Like just do it. And when you do that and you release and you just set yourself free, the confidence that kind of like exudes from that is really, really cool. So those are some little bits of confidence boosters that I wanted to share with you guys. I'm going to open up the chat. So I know that there was a bunch that came through. Mia says, I need to do that power pose. I'm very conscious of my body language. If I absent-mindedly cross my arms in front of my chest, I move them to my hips so people don't. I do the same thing. That's so funny you say that. I was doing that at the gym earlier because I was like, I'm like very cold a lot of the times, and so I cross my arms because I'm cold usually, and I do that too. I'm always like, oh, I don't want to be like standoffish, so like I what do I do with my arms? Sabrina, I wouldn't be able to live without music. Same. Yes, Mia says I cry or tear up anytime someone is crying. See that I don't have that, but it sounds so silly. But if somebody like was on stage crying and there was a song that was playing with it, like there was, I don't even know. It's music connected with like a certain emotional experience is what gets me crying. Or I will say, as I've gotten older, I do tend to cry a little bit easier with movies. Like there was a couple Robin Williams movies that, just because of the situation and watching him, in some of his last films, like that, obviously, like it's I'm very sensitive to that. But anyways, not to be like a downer, that Elisa, literally, I can't go a day without listening to music. Same. Music is everything to me. Mia says, children's music makes me happy. My kids are in school and I'll be singing If You're Happy and You Know It alone at home. Yeah, I sing nonstop. My sister, it's so funny because my sister is like a professional singer, and somehow I sing more to her kids than she does. Music is everything to me. I literally played drums for like 24, up until now, technically it's 24 years. So music is very, very much in my family. So moving on to the next topic that I have for you guys today, which is networking tips. So I wanted to get the confidence boosting techniques out before I talked about the networking tips, because sometimes, networking, I'm a super duper social person. And so networking comes easy to me, but I have done so much market research on pretty much everybody that has joined the Facebook group, joined any of our challenges, joined our inner circle, and almost everybody says that they feel like they struggle with networking. So that is something that I am very much aware of, that not everybody has is their strong suit. So that goes hand in hand with the confidence boosting. So networking is an art. It definitely is. There is a way to go about it, and there's definitely not a way to go about it. And I want to share some tips with you guys on how to approach networking in today's world. Everybody, especially now, since I feel like COVID and the lockdowns really opened the door for the virtual connection of networking. Whereas like in 2019, it wasn't, I don't know. Obviously, like we were all forced to not be, in person. You know what I'm saying? So we were all forced to only virtually network. And that still is kind of being carried over till the moment of this particular training right now. So what I'm about to share with you guys is very, very relevant, which is networking basically virtually on social media. The fact that all of us are so connected on social media, it's like we all need to be networking, but there is definitely a way to go about it and a way not to go about it. So something that I've shared plenty of times in the past is kind of like a networking no-no. Which before, like when I say before, I would say prior to 2013, maybe, it was very common and just very common for artists to network in a way of reaching out to an artist and saying, hey, I really, really love your work. I admire you, and I would love to meet you someday and possibly assist you. Please let me know if you ever need an assistant. Back before 2013 or ish, around that time, that was very common and it wasn't so frowned upon. But because everybody is, started to connect more on Facebook and connect more on Instagram and start emailing people and all that stuff, it was almost like the line of where the line is drawn no longer existed, and anybody and everybody did exactly that. So what started happening with the artists that are the bigger artists that these, that people are typically reaching out to ask to assist, they were being bombarded with artists saying the same things. So what is now, especially with the evolution of social media, is the importance of building a connection before you ever ask the question of, can I get work from you? Can I assist you? If you ever need an additional makeup artist, please let me know. We are in a time where we no longer are able to immediately be like, hey, if you ever need anybody, let me know. Even though you have no idea who I am, I'm here. I'm waiting for you. Like, it just doesn't work that way anymore. And I have seen during the lockdowns just how powerful it is to build that connection weeks before you ever ask that question, even months. Okay. So, a strategy, like a networking strategy that I like to share, is that if there is someone that you are wanting to work with, whether it be a photographer, a certain producer or director, or a fellow makeup artist or hairstylist, whatever that person looks like to you, because we can network in all of those different, categories. Before you ever DM them with that question, start by following them, which you probably most likely already are. Then interact with their account by liking their content. If you feel called to comment on their content, then comment. I suggest not doing it every single time that they post something, because you don't want to look like a spammer or like a stalker or anything like that. There's definitely some gray lines that you don't want to cross. So, and then whenever they do stories, when you feel called and connected, like, say for instance, they share something that you really find funny, put a laughing emoji. Okay. If there's something, like if they have a question or a poll, interact with that poll. What's going to happen is when you're consistently interacting with their account, your name is going to consistently show up in their feed. Depending, like if you're trying to get with like somebody that has millions of followers, there's a chance that you're just going to get lost in the mix, just to put that out there. But trust me when I say, with our industry, when it's a little bit more niche, it's a lot easier for this tactic to work. Trust me, it works very, very well. It has a very, very high success rate for me and for many others that I have coached to share this particular tactic with. So then after, like, I'm not kidding you, at least 2 weeks of interacting in that kind of just natural way, then you can start to have conversations with them inside direct messages and saying, hey, like, it was so funny. I loved your post the other day. Or, oh, I really loved your work that you posted, or something like that. And then say, I've been, a fan of your work, or I've been following you for a little while now. And I just want to say, I would love the opportunity to work with you someday if you ever need a makeup artist. So sometimes, if it's anything like what I have experienced and what some of the artists experience when I have worked one-on-one with them, sometimes you don't even have to say that. Sometimes you start a conversation and it becomes very conversational about their likes and your likes, and you're just talking. And then they start talking about, oh, are you a makeup artist? And then you build a relationship with them, and then they bring you on to something that, they need you for. A lot of people, when I started working, when I moved to LA, a lot of the artists that like mentored me would tell me sometimes it's all about being at the right place at the right time. And it's very true. You have to be in front of their radar, because I'll be honest, there's been a lot of makeup artists that have reached out to me and they're like, hey, if you ever need anybody, let me know. But then they never ask, like they never once follow up with me. They literally are just like, hey, would love to work with you, let me know. And I never hear from them again. Why would I think about them if I ever need somebody? Because there's, 3 other artists that are constantly talking to me. I'm seeing them on their feeds and things like that. They're going to be the first people to mind in my mind. And sometimes there are people that maybe haven't talked to me in a while that, have built some sort of connection with me, and they just so happen to message me when I need help. Right time, right place. Right? But if it's kind of like you can create your own success this way, if you are constantly in their mind by interacting with their account. So they're constantly seeing your, Instagram handle with, that you're liking, you're commenting, you're doing emoji engagement on their stories, so on and so forth. Or if you're sharing their content, that's another big way too. And tagging them when you share it, they're going to, it's marketing psychology. They are much more likely to remember you when they need your help. That help being makeup artistry. So that, just so you guys know, like, I started kind of testing this out myself like several years ago, because like after, so like I would say about 2014, I started realizing, like it was 2012 to 2013, I started seeing like, okay, I think I'm saying the same thing that everybody else is saying to these people that I'm trying to work with. So I started kind of tweaking it. And instead of saying, I would love to work with you, I actually said, I would love to get coffee with you one day. Because I personally strongly believe that not everybody works well together, and you have to find that out. It's so much better if you find that out before you actually work with them. Trust me. So that's what I started doing. That's how I got, in with Erin Kruger McCash. I literally said, hey, would love to, grab coffee with you. She said yes, and we got coffee. And ever since then, she and I have stayed friends. And now I would consider us like pretty decent friends. And so that is a tactic that I kind of started to tweak from just immediately being like, hey, if you ever need anybody, to, okay, like I'm going to build some sort of connection here. Let's get coffee. Right. And to be honest, a lot of the things that, like a lot of the connections that I made was when I asked certain artists to be a part of my film and interview them. And that created some sort of connection by interviewing them, which is essentially just another way of just meeting, getting coffee with them, asking them questions, things like that. Obviously there's a camera involved, but that's the only difference. And all of the artists that I interviewed have either been a part of different challenges, they've given my name for other jobs, they have hired me on their team for things. That's how I got on with American Horror Story with Carrie Herda. I built a connection. We felt out if we were a good match, if we would get along, and then I stayed in contact with them, and I never asked them for a job. Never. So then I took that and I was like, oh, okay, so this is a new kind of networking tactic that I'm going to kind of go with. And now with how relevant social media is, the way that we interact and engage can significantly help us when we do want to make that ask of like, hey, if you ever need anybody, if you end up having to do it. So I started doing that tactic more recently. And with makeup artists, I had like a 95% success rate, and with photographers, 100% success rate. So any photographers that I've ever done this with, I always end up working with. And there's only like 3 of them, so it's not like a ton. I don't want to have I don't want to be so busy with just print work. Like I like to have my options, and I'm really picky about the photographers that I work with. So anyways, but with makeup artists, it's been like probably about 15 that I've done this tactic with, and it's about a 95%, follow through rate. So that is something I want to share with you guys. It's my best networking tip that I can give for all of you guys. Mia, my mentor, told me that last night I need to ask her more, that if there are any jobs available. I hate that. I check in with her because I care about how she's doing, but she gave me permission. Yeah, so if you're already in with the mentor, then absolutely. Like you need to bug those people. And that's her point with that, is that like the whole concept of like what I was saying earlier about being at the right time, being at the right place at the right time. If like she's essentially suggesting that you're not bugging her enough for you to be there when she needs you, right? So yeah, if you've already developed that relationship with any artist, mentor, photographer, or whatever, yeah, by all means bug them. But because you've already built that like relationship with her, so like yeah, that's actually something. Carrie Ayers, if you guys know who he is, he's an amazing effects artist, and he actually did the same. He said the same thing. He's like, please bug me. So just by the side note, if any artist says, please bug me, make sure you bug them because they are 100% giving you that permission, you know? Mia says, I've interacted with Danessa Myricks before. She's the best. Yes, I love her. Lisa, same Mia. She's interacted with her followers. Sabrina, I follow Nick Posley and I love his work and I have commented on his work and he always responds. Yeah, see, like, trust me when I say, like, if you are consistent with that, just so you know, some of the biggest Instagram influencers that like market, like the people that I personally follow in the Instagram marketing world, there's Angie Lee, like, I have a very specific like vision of having her somehow work with me in the future. And I have, because I want to like interview her on my podcast and everything. She like knows me by this point. I've interacted with her just naturally for at least a year now. So she's like, oh my God, it's so like she now knows me. I'm consistent and interacting on her page, that by the time that I feel ready to ask her to be on a podcast, I do feel like she's going to say yes. And it's a strategy. I mean, it's some time, and I you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying you guys have to take an entire year, but trust me when I say, when you are consistent in engaging, especially with somebody as big as Danessa. So like the bigger the person is, the longer it's going to take for you to interact with them consistently. Because trust me when I say, people like Danessa have super fans. So there are people that are already doing exactly what I'm suggesting, but in a little bit of a different way. So you do have to be consistent with showing up in a longer period of time versus like gosh, Danessa has like a ton of followers and she has such a big company. And I don't like, I know she interacts, but I'm going to be completely honest here. I don't know that it's always her. Since she has such a huge like platform, she actually might hire somebody to interact and kind of have her voice. That's typical with somebody that has as many followers as her. I know Mimi Choi. I know for a fact because I've talked to her personally. She does everything herself. I don't think she doesn't hire like a social media manager or anything like that. And she's pretty good about interacting as well. But my point being, though, is that another person that's really, really good with like responding is James Vincent. He's phenomenal at it. But anyways, the bigger the account, the longer time frame. So like Erin Kruger McCash, I think the last time I checked, she has like 20,000 followers. Trust me when I say she 100% is very interactive on hers, and she pays attention very, 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 very closely. And I would say that you're going to have like an easier time being consistent for a shorter period of time with somebody that has, less followers than somebody that has 500,000 plus followers. It's just numbers. It's just like literally numbers. Nothing saying about them as people at all. It's just, unfortunately, when you're going against 500,000 followers, 1 million followers versus like 10,000 followers or 20, the person that has less followers tends to have an easier time managing the amount of direct messages that they're getting, amount of comments that they're getting, so on and so forth. Mia, she doesn't even do makeup anymore, but she says she gets calls about jobs and sends her artists. Okay. Are you talking about your mentor, or are you talking about Danessa? I love Danessa either way. But yeah, so that is kind of my suggestion for you guys with the networking, the networking hack that I have for you. So going back to your day 4 notes and your workbook, I have a space for you guys to write what your networking goals are inside the workbook. So definitely take time. What do your networking goals look like? Do you want to primarily focus? Because another thing too, really quick, I know, and I'm not saying anything is wrong with you guys saying, like Danessa and Nick Posley and kind of these bigger accounts. There's nothing wrong with like wanting to work with them, like by any means. But trust me when I say, you're going to get a lot more consistent work from people that are going to be a little bit more in your like circle or your like experience level. So, and I don't want to say experience level because like some of you guys probably have the experience level of Danessa. Not saying that. What I'm saying is that are a little bit more in your reach, right? So everybody and their mother is trying to work with Danessa, right? Everybody is asking her for jobs. Everybody's trying to assist her, blah, 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 right? Or work with her in some capacity. So I'll put it this way. I was fully booked for an entire year straight from like the end of June all the way to the end of June of 2020 to the beginning of June of 2021. Like literally an entire year straight, one of the hardest years that our industry has ever seen. But I was booked solid for an entire year. And I would say a very high percentage of those gigs that I was getting were from other makeup artists that are around the same experience level as me, the same, just the same space as me, the same, just the same circles as me. They were giving me jobs. So please don't always only like think about these high profile artists. Think about the people that are a little bit closer to where you are at currently. And trust me when I say, like, there's plenty of people getting jobs that are in the same, in the same circles as you are currently. And they will give you jobs. Trust me when I say that they will give you jobs. I honestly can't even count how many jobs I've gotten from other makeup artists that are essentially almost the exact same experience level as me and the exact same position as me, so on and so forth. And even some have higher and some have a little bit lower. Like, just don't discount, connecting with other makeup artists that are in that same circle as you, or maybe a slightly bit above you. Because, like I said, it's unfortunately a numbers game when you have these like Oscar-winning makeup artists like V. Neil. Everybody is trying to work with V. Neil, but you can definitely still do the same tactic and it will work. It's just, you got to do it for a bit of a longer time. Mia, I'm trying to manifest some things and I'm freaking out in a good way. My mentor, she's friends with Scott Barnes. That's awesome. Cool. Okay. So let's see. So yeah, that's pretty much all that I have for you for day 4. I'm so sorry for the little bit of a hiccup earlier with the figuring out the leak situation. So before I close this out, does anybody have any questions? Any questions about, confidence boosters or any questions about networking? While you guys, come up with any questions, I'm going to share something really quick. So have you guys heard of Jamie Kern-Lima? So Jamie Kern-Lima, she wrote this book called Believe It. So she is the owner and founder of It Cosmetics. And I'm going to share with you, I've been reading this book. It's so good. Oh my God, it is so good, you guys. It is so good. I never knew the things that she shares. She has some really intimate stories that she shares in this book. And one of the things that's the first thing she shares, it's literally on page 1, is that, so just to throw this there, I'm going to start with her success. So we all know It Cosmetics. We all know how successful it has been, right? And she, if you guys know anything about her, she was the owner, kind of the face of It Cosmetics, and she rose to fame as far as her brand goes by constantly showing up on QVC, I want to say. So she was literally doing the infomercial style stuff, like QVC, right? Or HSN, or I forget which channel it is. But she recently sold her business for $1 billion, in the last year or 2 or something like that. So she is now a billionaire, and self-made billionaire. And she's a female, and she's the first female billionaire, first female to sell her cosmetic company for $1 billion. And I think it's by L'Oreal. You might have to double check on exactly if it's L'Oreal. I don't remember the details of that. But the coolest thing that she explains in her book was that she was trying to find investors when she was a startup company, and she was going, all these different, places, all these different stores, all these different department stores. And everybody kept saying no. Everybody said no, 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 no. Well, she went to this one guy and she presented her, her pitch. And he goes, I'm going to say no. And the reason why I'm going to say no is because I can't get past the thought of someone that looks like you selling makeup. You're not pretty enough. You're not fit enough. Sorry, I don't want anything to do with it. So the funny and ironic thing about that is he was the one that ended up buying her company out for the $1 billion. So funny story there. But anyways, right, exactly. Wow. Like it is, it's so good. And she now pretty much does like motivational speaking stuff. So I just wanted to share that story with you guys to remind you that depending on exactly what it is that you want in your career, if you are very freaky, right? Exactly. It is crazy. It's so crazy. She is like, and it's so strange too, because technically like he works for her now, technically, because she still has like some sort of oversight with her, like some sort of oversight. I think that's what the deal was. Like she still had, I don't know, something. But anyways, she is like just a beautiful human being. And she always shares this story about how she had to get like so many no's before anybody said yes. And I just want to share that little bit of story. The details are definitely not like entirely 100%. So please forgive me on some of the details that might not be correct. But the point is that she had to go through so many no's and literally be told like, you're ugly and fat, like good luck, to the person that ended up buying out her company for $1 billion. So don't ever give up. You're going to get a lot of no's. When inconvenience shows up, you have to prove yourself and push through that inconvenience. Otherwise, you're just not going to get anywhere that you want to actually be. You're, what I said at the beginning of this boot camp, which is you can either stay where you're at and have the struggles that you currently live with. Like, feel free, like by all means, stay in contentment, stay in, the like, I don't know, comfort zone that you're in right now. And that's fine. But you can either stay there and have the struggles that you currently have, or you can level the fuck up, go out of your comfort zone, get the things that you want, but it comes with just different struggles. Which one do you want? It's completely and utterly your choice to do that. Obviously, depending on your exact situation, the choices might be a little bit different from one another, to like from each individual, us as individuals from one another. But my point is we all have the choice of leveling up in some capacity or staying where we're at. Both levels have struggles. Which struggles do you want to deal with? Right? So just wanted to say that. And by the way, tomorrow is going to be the final grand prize. And tomorrow, whoever wins the grand prize will be winning this book as one of the prizes. Okay? So little gift, believe it. How to Go from Underestimated to Unstoppable is her cover, the title. So very, very, very amazing human being, and extremely inspiring book. So very excited to share that with whoever ends up winning tomorrow. So let's go over what the day 4 challenge is. Okay. So your day 4 challenge is to determine a practice that makes you feel confident. This could be dancing, singing, watching something inspiring, a music playlist, whatever it is for you. Share it in the private community forum on the day 4 homework thread. Okay. You can also share on your Instagram stories. Just make sure that you tag me. Either way, if you're in the upgrade, you will get that. And then, by the way, just as a reminder, those that are interested in joining the inner circle, the doors are open. feel free to, oh crap, I totally meant to get that out. Let me get to be honest, it's actually the link is also in the description of this video. So if you're watching in the replay, you can just get that on. I'm going to put this in the comments. This is the link for the inner circle. I know, Mia, you're already in there. Pretty much everybody currently live is already in there. So that's like a sign for anybody that's watching right now. You need to join. Everybody on this call right now that's live is literally already in. So if you are interested in the inner circle, literally content's very, very similar. We always talk about marketing and mindset. We do monthly goal setting sessions, monthly accountability calls, monthly mentorship calls for those that are VIP, and those who end up signing up for VIP. The first 5 artists that join the VIP will get a personalized Instagram audit where I will literally go through your Instagram account and audit it and tell you what is working for you, what might be working against you, and a little mini strategy of how you can utilize your Instagram to kind of help your career as a makeup artist with whatever goals you have with your specific like career path that you're trying to achieve. Okay, so that is it for you guys now. And like I said, as always, anybody that's watching in the replay, if you have any questions, feel free to just ask the question in the chat, or you can, if you're one of the upgraded artists, you can ask the question over in the forum. And that is all for today. All right, you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow for day 5. We have one more day left. So this is really, really exciting. I'm really excited for day 5 tomorrow. And I've got some goodies. And yeah, that's pretty much it that I have for you guys. All right. I'll see you guys later. Bye.